entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. This is the 5th installment of the I Rest My Take podcast. I'm Max Adams.
I'm Dave Spellman.
Finally got that down. On today's show, we got a lot to recap. We got AB found a new team. We got our way too early power rankings for the NBA season.
Yep.
The World Series has come to an end. We have a champion.
A little COVID scare with that as well. It comes along with that. We'll talk about that. We have poor Odell Beckham Jr. towards ACL, what that means for his future. And we're going to our thing we had last week, our 2-minute drill for NFL. So yeah, we got a lot to unpack, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. First things first, though, we have to get to the AB story because there doesn't. I feel like there should have been more hype around it, but the move was so anticlimactic.
I think it was just because he went to the Bucs. Keep getting everyone.
Yeah. Like we saw with Le'Veon last week, the rich keep getting richer, and you're not going to have enough footballs to get to everyone. I don't love the move.
Because we talked about how you said Titans and Ravens, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the Buccaneers were one of the last teams that needed a receiver. They have two top, when they're healthy, you could argue even top 5 with two top 10 receivers.
Yeah, I think AB's crush for Tom Brady is really just that overpowering, apparently.
And that was quick. You heard in the news Brady wants him, he's talking next day. Antonio Brown is a Buccaneer.
Yeah, and you said it was circulating throughout the offseason that AB wanted to go wherever Tom went.
Yeah.
But then Bruce Arians is he's a diva, we don't want him. He shot him down immediately.
Yeah, and he still was, even when if you're not a team player, you're gone.
Yeah, I love that from Bruce Arians. Total football guy power move.
God.
But you still bit the bullet there. I mean, Tom Brady seems to really be running your show.
He is. And is he eligible this week?
No, it's next week.
Right.
Next week, and he has to clear COVID protocol, so he's not going to practice until Wednesday of next week.
Okay, so week 8 suspension.
Suspension's done this week. He has to have the 5-day COVID protocol thing, and then he's good.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for it. Antonio Brown to be back in the league.
I don't think anybody is, honestly, because he's just this wild card where you don't know what you're going to see from him.
I haven't seen that. He hasn't really said much since this.
He's been off of social media, and for his own good, by the way.
I think someone told him that that's pretty good.
I'm glad it took him long enough to get that through to him, but he must have not had better options. It was the Seahawks, the Bucs, and who else?
Yeah, must have been no one.
Schefter again with the vague reporting of the Seahawks are not alone. Didn't even mention the Bucs. Right. Can you give us some intel, please? Give us something to work with. You're dropping the ball 2 weeks in a row, Schefter. Figure it out.
It's literally the Seahawks and Buccaneers. Literally, they have two insane duo at receivers, and they had a guy like Antonio Brown.
Yeah, those moves, the Le'Veon move, the AB move, is really setting us up for a Bucs Chiefs Super Bowl.
And
I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see Antonio Brown back in the league.
Wow. Okay. We got AB back in the league, and we got OBJ out of the league, I guess. Out of the season, and who knows when he'll be back, what team he'll be playing for.
Right. That was big because ever since he's become a Brown, it's always been he's either had a great game or he's just been a pedestrian, a normal receiver. And I wonder if they're going to take a move for him, because I think even before they were talking about this, I remember Stephen A. was talking about how Odell and Jarvis Landry should want out of Cleveland.
Yeah, he was going to be a trade target with next week's trade deadline, and there was a 50-50 shot he was going to get moved.
And I think we both I hoped for him to go, and I think you did too.
Yeah, he needed to go because you're wasting a generational talent in a wasteland.
Which makes no sense because he has a better he had Eli, and Baker is younger, and I would say he's a better quarterback than when Odell was there, and he hasn't been the same. He was literally a top 5 receiver with the Giants.
Yeah, I don't understand how they haven't like incorporated. I know you have Jarvis Landry there, and like you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
They have guys, yeah.
They have a bunch of guys, but like you could still utilize the talent. Like you've seen it in Arizona, where DeAndre Hopkins, there's a huge receiver core there, but he's still getting so much volume. And I'm just shocked that they kind of let his talent go to waste.
The Browns are just like a team that's never gonna do anything.
Nope. And it's so sad too because we like he's gonna be out until at least halfway through next season,
right?
If not longer. He turns 30 next year.
Is he really?
Yeah.
30?
Yeah, he's like 29 or 30.
Yeah.
So we wasted OBJ.
Not a lot of teams are probably gonna want him. Yeah.
Yeah, we wasted him, which is so sad. But yeah, I feel for OBJ. I feel for his whole team because we didn't see what we all thought we originally saw in OBJ.
And the worst part is, like, it was literally on a Baker pick.
It was on a Baker pick.
He's only going to tackle the guy, and he freaking gets a torn ACL.
Yeah, that is.
And it was bad. You knew right away too.
Yeah, it was he jumped up and like he grabbed the back of his knee. I said it when it was going on through red zone. I was like, oh, ACL, no. Like that was the worst case scenario.
Pretty much it's Baker's fault.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Moving on to the to MLB. Dodgers 2020 World Series champs.
Yeah.
We kind of all, that was what to be expected.
Yeah, it was in the stars, but like we could have had a game 7. So allow me to address Kevin Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Kevin. You're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You had Blake Snell through a gem.
Yeah.
He was shoving. The Dodgers were looking like the worst hitting like performance that we've seen from them all year. And he was through 5 1/3.
Yep.
And at 75 pitches, and it's not even like the runner is in scoring position, Kevin. He was on first base.
Yep.
And it's one thing if you bring in like one of your starters, if you want Charlie Morton to get you through that game, or one of your other guys, or Diego Castillo, who was dealt this whole postseason, but you brought in Nick Anderson, who was horrible at the end of the DS. He was horrible in the LCS, and what does he do?
Give him the run his first at bat.
Yep. Double and Mookie, run, next batter, or wild pitch, and then the Mookie comes in on a ground.
I really want to understand why. The only thing, I was mentioning before this, the only reason I think maybe, say the Rays win and they want to save him for like an inning or 2 in Game 7. But you're not going to even make it to Game 7 if you don't even leave your best guy out there.
Exactly. You have to get to Game 7 first. You can't assume that especially since you're so limited offensively.
Right.
Like Rosarena was a majority of your offense the entire postseason. So you let that postseason performance go to waste by being an idiot, and then like you just let your entire team down. You had Charlie Moore.
You let Blake Snell down too.
Yeah, he let Blake Snell. I think if I'm Blake Snell and my manager pulls me out in a Game 6 game where if we lose we go home, I have the right to sucker punch him across the face. I think that as a pitcher, that's like I've thrown a lot of big games for high school games. I know you pitched a lot of like big situations. If I'm taken out of a situation where I know I'm supposed to be in and it's my game, and you take me out because of analytics and just being a nerd, I have the right to punch you in the face.
That might not go over well, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I think that.
What I want to know too is freaking the Rays pitching coach. I don't know his name, but you're gonna let him do that? Like you're not gonna give him any like insight and advice on what you're gonna do right now, or it made no sense at all. Literally, he's dealing. Mookie can't touch him. No one on the freaking Dodgers can touch him. He gives up 1 hit in the 5th, and you're like, oh, I'm taking him out. I thought it was a joke. Like when the announcement, when Joe Buck, I think, was like, oh, he's coming in, or he's coming out, I was like, oh, like laughing.
Yeah.
He's just a base hit, and they take him out.
Yeah, it was the dumbest possible thing you could do. And you let your entire team down, and you robbed us all of the Charlie Morton, Walker Buehler Game 7.
Which would have been
and
fantastic.
We will never forgive you for that.
Fantastic.
But additionally, Corey Seager took home MVP.
Yeah.
I thought Kershaw was going to get it, but I mean, Seager did well. He batted 400, 2 home runs, go-ahead RBI, 609 on base percentage in the World Series, and like, yeah, he deserved it. I was cool with it. I wasn't going to be that tight about it, but like, I thought Kershaw should have gotten it, but that's based on like his narrative and his postseason woes. So like, you can't give it to him for like a narrative.
Right.
But
it was probably between Kershaw, Mookie, and Seager.
Yeah, Mookie had a quiet like 2-3 game stretch after Game 1. I thought Mookie was a lock after Game 1, but then he was kind of quiet for the rest of the series until Game 6.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm happy for Kershaw though.
No, yeah.
All the stuff he's been terrible, and he needed something like this.
Yeah, definitely.
And now his resume gets a huge boost.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, that he is for sure a first ballot.
Oh,
Hall of
yeah,
Famer,
definitely.
for sure.
Something we actually have to talk about before we move on is Justin Turner. The fact that he gets corona in the middle of the game, or he got it probably before, but he gets removed in the 7th inning of the World Series. Like, how does that even happen?
That's a classic Rob Manfred at his best.
He looked, when he was talking at the end of the game, he looked like he was gonna have a stroke. He was like,
Oh, dude, I have an anxiety attack too. My team just won the World Series, but then I had the Coco and had to be subbed out mid-game
yeah.
for a positive test. Like and to not be able to like celebrate and run out to the field. I mean, he still was out there.
Really?
Yeah, he went out there.
That's a whole nother story. Yeah.
Maskless,
Yeah.
I mind you.
Yeah,
But,
he kissed his wife. He was hugging the guys. Like that.
yeah,
That's a bad look.
yeah,
but I understand where he's coming from. You're the World Series, one of the biggest moments of your life. But like,
yeah, I mean, his team does have 8 months to recover now or so.
And they're already exposed. They're already exposed to him for the first 7 innings.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. He didn't give anybody, like the opposing fans or like the fans that showed out, he wasn't endangering them. He was just endangering his team, who has a ton of months to recover. So, I mean, not the end of the world, but very scary.
Yeah. Very interesting. Sticking with MLB, the game 4 of that series
Oh my God, we
was
have to talk about
insane. I've never seen anything like that, ever. Not even in like 2K or anything. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, no, not at all. That catcher play, it's weird because that happens all the time. Like I remember using catcher gloves and like whenever I went to go swipe a tag or anything like that, the ball, it was so hard. It was so easy for the ball to just go flying like that.
Right.
It just looked so weird because then a Rosarena fell down
and
Chris Taylor was bobbling the ball. By the way, speaking of that, why isn't Cody Bellinger in the outfield? Why isn't he was in center the whole series except for that
I think it was something with his back or something. I think they moved him or I didn't get that either. But because if he doesn't bobble that, he's probably not even going.
No.
Yeah.
I got to break down Brett Phillips, though, the claimed hero.
Yeah.
So, where are my statistics? Brett Phillips is on a 545K salary. He batted 196 in 51 regular season ABs, and he's a career 202 hitter who was left off the LCS roster. And that's your guy that hits the walk-off, which is just incredible and speaks to just the postseason baseball at its finest. That's so insane to me that's your hero. Out of all the guys on that team, it's that guy.
Yeah. He was living life too after he hit that. He was running around in the outfield and stuff.
They had to hook him up to an IV after the game because his heart rate was too high.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be too if I just hit a walk. Oh my God.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine hitting a walk-off. Not even a home run, just a walk-off. In the World Series, and you've been like not very good in your career.
Yeah, that man ran to Spain after that. He was running all over the field.
If the Rays had ended up winning, I would be a hero.
Yep.
Well, I mean, kind of is, but he would be the hero if they won.
Absolutely.
Because that game was huge.
That game's an instant classic.
Yeah.
There was 3 lead changes
Oh
in the
my
last
God,
from the 6th inning on.
It was wild.
That was one of the best games that I've ever seen. It was unfortunate. I saw the game from like the 7th inning on, so I saw like the ending, but I didn't see like the events leading up to that, which is unfortunate. But I saw highlights, and that was that has to be one for the Bucs.
Yeah, crazy. Like you said, it speaks for the playoff baseball.
Yep,
that's finest. Moving on to one of my favorites now, the 2-minute drill.
Yep. Week 7. Let's go.
Turn that up. Yeah. There we go. Alright. You start or you want to start?
I'll kick it off this week.
Go for it.
In Philly, where Daniel Jones got loose and he could go oh my God, he fell down. And so did the Giants' chances of winning. Carson Wentz hit Boston Cream Donut Scott for the would-be game winner with 40 seconds left to go. Philly 22, New York Football Giants 21.
In Houston, it looked like Thanksgiving came a little bit early for Devontae Adams and the Packers, because they were feasting on the Texans' defense like it was Thanksgiving dinner. Green Bay 35, Houston 20.
In Cincinnati, where Joe Burrow continues to play his heart out every week while the defense is taking the field like, I don't care, still don't care, I don't care. While Beer Chug Baker throws the game winner with 11 seconds to go on him, which had him singing postgame, me and Peoples Jones. Cleveland Browns 37, Cincinnati 34.
In New York, false hope is given to the Jets by way of Josh Allen and the Bills, who couldn't seem to put the Jets away. 2020 has seen so many different things that have happened this year, and nothing is unexpected. But something you can't expect is a Jets loss. Buffalo 18, New York 10.
In the nation's capital, where the Red Rocket had a brutal crash landing and we all thought he may be dead for a moment. But evidently he was not, but was knocked out of the game, and mob boss Ben DiNucci took over and didn't do a damn thing. Easy day at the office for scary Terry McLaurin in the game. Football team takes this one. Football team 25, America's team 3.
In Tennessee, it was the battle of the undefeated. Stephen Gostkowski's had a reputation for being a clutch and reliable kicker, but that changed. At the end of the game, he shriveled up and missed that game winner. Pittsburgh 27, Tennessee 24.
In Atlanta, where even without Dan Quinn, the Dirty Birds found yet another way to blow a lead, this time by scoring? That's right, the Gurley man, Todd Gurley, belly flopped over the goal line by mistake with just enough time for Matt Stafford to commit some bulldog on bulldog crime and hit TJ Hawkins socks in the end zone as time expired. Detroit 23, Atlanta 22.
In Oakland, the question after the game, the Buccaneers was asked, is Tom Brady ever going to retire? Keeps proving the doubters wrong. He might even be a freaking grandpa by the time he retires from this season. Tampa Bay 45, Las Vegas 20.
In NOLA, where Teddy B took a seat on the bench next to his old locker room buddies and Jameis Winston looked on in the distance, taking on the jealous new girlfriend role. Guys, this is why he has trust issues. He just wants to be loved like the meme accounts loved him eating W's. None of this has anything to do with the game, but the Saints march to the W. New Orleans 27, Carolina 24.
In LA, Justin Herbert continues to prove that he's a franchise quarterback. You have to feel for Tyrod Taylor at this moment. He might not ever get his job back. You have to think though, was it an inside job that Herbert's now in the lineup? Never know. What I do know is Justin Herbert reminds me of Sunshine from Remember the Titans, and they're both ballers. LA 39, Jacksonville 29.
In Mile High, where KC was off the Henny, as we saw Chad Henne back from the dead take the field for the first time since Chad Pennington was a thing. If you couldn't tell from that, this game was a massacre. KC 43, Denver 16.
In Arizona, we saw a glimpse of what happens in the African safari, and boy did DK Metcalf show up with a cheetah chasing down a gazelle when he chased down Buda Baker. As they say here during Secretary's Belmont Stakes win, moving like a tremendous machine. But in the end, the machine and Seahawks were enough. Arizona 37, Seattle 34.
In Foxborough, where Jimmy G was back at his own stomping grounds and balled out, while Bill Belichick was too busy singing to him the Jackson 5's I Want You Back, rather than focusing on the abysmal play calling that was going on. There are reports circulating that Bill and Kraft came to blows after the game, and not the kind that Kraft likes. Still waiting on the source to confirm that one, but San Fran takes this one. San Francisco 33, New England 6.
In LA, the Rams took it to the Bears on both sides of the ball, but especially on defense. What brings up the question, is Tua in trouble facing the almighty Aaron Donald next week? LA 24, Chicago 10.
YouTube has got to have some sort of ad notice that is annoying. I apologize about that.
Chad Pennington, I know we were talking about him today.
Yeah, Chad Pennington was one that came out of left field, but I don't know about you, but I haven't heard of Chad Henne doing anything since he was a thing.
I didn't even know he's a backup anymore.
Yeah, I thought he was out of the league in 2015.
Yeah, when he scored that touchdown, if I was him, I would have crazy just like he did.
Yep. So some takeaways, we got to get into some takeaways from some of these games, and I have to defend my boy Cam, because this situation is not unhittable. It's not, and people are paying him, and yeah, he wasn't good last week, and he wasn't good the week before that, but that's product of the play calling. They're trying to make Cam Newton, who is a mobile dual threat quarterback, who likes to get the ball down the field and also use his legs, into Tom Brady throwing check downs and screen passes every other play, and they're not moving the ball down the field, and his offensive line is terrible, and they didn't really provide him with any skills position assets besides Julian Edelman, which they've had already.
Right.
He doesn't have anything to work with, so it's very hard for me, and it's not because I'm biased. I've watched these 2 games in consecutive weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Their play calling has been abysmal, and McDaniels has been praised for his play calling down there, and it has looked awful all year. And it's not because they don't know their personnel.
Yeah.
It's not Cam at all, and I'm not saying this because I'm a biased Cam fan, but I think this needs to be said, and Patriots fans need to hear this, because Cam had a good first 3 weeks, and then he got COVID, and then the play calling went down.
He got COVID, yeah. The first week, I mean, he was rushing all the time. He was passing, but he looked tremendous.
Yeah.
Even week 2 and 3, but it has not been the same.
Yeah, and I don't think it's on him. I don't think his job should be in jeopardy. I think that the McDaniels and company needs to really lay out their personnel and really know what they're working with before trying to implement what they were using with Tom Brady for 20 years.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be a Tom Brady. He needs the ball. He needs to run.
Mm-hmm.
He should be getting like 10 to 15 rushes a game. That's where he's at his best.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm curious to see what the rest of the season looks like. But they definitely, like you said, they need more playmakers for him.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, they should be an active participant in the trade deadline. I don't know why they.
I haven't really heard anything about the Patriots moving anyone.
I would think that they would be looking to add people, or even like free agents, like Martavis Bryant is still out there.
Just a play. They need some playmakers.
Yeah, they need somebody to really. I thought they should have gone after Des Bryant. Like they need just somebody that could get the ball down the field past the 50.
Right. I mean, if you're relying on Julian Edelman at this point in his career, it's not a recipe that's going to turn out good.
Nope, not at all. And additionally, my crowd noise theory is still being proven week to week.
Injuries, right? Odell now, yeah.
Odell, Jeff Wilson went down, Kenny Drake went down, Landon Collins tore his Achilles.
Was it his Achilles?
Yeah, it was his Achilles. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but this is the most knee-ankle trouble that I've ever seen in an individual NFL season. And there's usually a lot of injuries, but like not
these
so
are
consistent.
These are big time guys.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick with the crowd noise theory. It could be the preseason theory as well, but it's one of the two. And it's so weird to see because we're losing big names too. It's not even like we're losing like role players.
No. Yeah. No. Something we have to talk about though is DK Metcalf. I mentioned him earlier. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and it wasn't even him with the ball.
Yeah. No. And it's not like Buda Baker was moving slowly.
Fast.
Buda was moving over 20 miles an hour, and DK was just like
the first burst of speed he probably had from the end zone to maybe the 20. I've never seen anyone move that faster. And he's 6'4", 230.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's the world's fastest man, but Usain Bolt retired, so I mean it's up for grabs. So he's in the running. I'm not gonna put that out in the open because Usain Bolt is still alive.
Yeah.
But yikes!
Wow.
Yikes.
I probably watched that video. It was on social media. I watched the video like 20 times. I just wanted to see it. Like it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was watching that game live, and I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at DK! Oh my God, he's gonna get him!"
Yeah.
And he got closer and closer, and I was like, "No way!"
I showed like 5 people that hadn't seen it, and the same reaction like that. Like, there's no way he's getting him. Yeah. Because Buda Baker had a running head start. DK is running. He's running horizontal, looking for a pass. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh wait, I gotta go catch him." Bang.
Yeah. But we also have to. Speaking of the Seahawks, though, they play the weirdest games ever. Their fans must have like
such an effect.
A low life expectancy. Like their life expectancy is cut off at 60. They have all gray hair by the time they're 35, and they may or may not have a bad drug addiction.
Bro.
So like
it's crazy.
The roller coaster rides that the Seahawks bring their fans with every week is insane.
Tyler Lockett literally had 15 catches for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Game of his life.
The 2 weeks before that, it was nothing. It was literally nothing. It was a DK Metcalf show.
Game of his life.
Game of his career. He would never have a game like that.
Nope. Shout out Ryan Huda.
Boy, it's that joke right there.
But yeah, that was their games. They went from the Vikings game the week before their bye week to that game.
Yeah. Wow.
Both on Sunday night. I told you it was an Al Michaels thing.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Yeah. You know what we have to bring up too? Is the Cowboys might not win another game the rest of the season. They look terrible.
Yeah. The Cowboys at this point, I think we can call them a slightly better Jets.
Oh my. I don't know if I'm going that far.
I'm going that
far. I don't know if I'm going that far.
I'm going that far. Andy Dalton was terrible. Their offensive line was terrible. Ezekiel Elliott can't hold on to the ball.
25-3.
Defense. Did you see the amount of people that they released and traded today from their defense? As if they already weren't bad enough. They got rid of, what did they get rid of? They got rid of Dontari Poe. Their corner, right? I forget the corner's name.
I'm not sure.
And they traded Everson Griffin. So they traded all they have left for defensive assets. Yeah. And they were like, you know what? Let's beat the Falcons and worst defensive rank this year. Yeah. I told you at one point Jared was going to blow up Jared World, and it seems like it's coming already.
One more thing before we move on to the pick'ems. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. They have some bright future. They look legit.
Told you about Justin Herbert.
You were high.
I told you.
I was high, but you had him as a top performer, right?
Yeah, and I was right on the money.
He went
right
off.
on the money. He had like 39 fantasy points. He had 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards. He was nuts, and he's been nuts since he's been in the starting role. And nobody expected him. Like people expected that he was going to be like good, but not this good.
Yeah, I saw a thing. I forget who said it, but someone compared Tua being the Philip Rivers to Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert being Big Ben and Eli Manning. How like Big Ben will be Herbert and Eli Manning will be Joe Burrow, and Tua would be Philip Rivers, who's never going to win anything. I thought that was an interesting comparison.
Okay. No, yeah.
But they were all three of them in the same class, and now.
Yeah, Eli's too fresh in my mind right now, and like, cause he was terrible for like his last 4 years. But he does have 2 Super Bowls, so like I don't hate that. Yeah. And then Ben, I don't hate that comparison to Justin Herbert either. They're both way more mobile than both those quarterbacks, by the way.
But just in terms of like winning Super Bowls,
I am right on board with the Tua comparison though. I'm right there.
Yeah, it's just something I saw that I thought it was interesting. Going into our NFL Pick'em segment now, we got the primetime games and a couple other games that we think are going to be good games. Yep. Thursday night game, Falcons Panthers. Not a terrible game. Should be maybe a high scoring game, but.
I like this game. This game has a lot of potential. We're also adding in the spreads for this week. We got the okay to add in the spreads, so we're going to talk a little bit about that with our pickups this week too. Carolina's favored -2.5. I would take that all day. That is an easy take. I would definitely take the over as well. Both those defenses are terrible. It was over/under is 49. If CMC plays, they should win this game pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
However,
I don't think he will, but I still have the Panthers.
Yeah, I have the Panthers either way. However, this could turn into a shootout if he doesn't play because you never know what's going on with the Panthers offense.
Right. No, definitely. Another good matchup: the Steelers-Ravens. That is going. Ravens come off a bye. Steelers undefeated.
Yeah, that's going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
Baltimore's favored -3 or -3.5. Over/under is 46.5. Both those defenses are really good. I don't understand why Baltimore's the favorite though. Pittsburgh is the undefeated team after all, and they're like, first of all, the spread is very iffy because this game could very easily be decided by a field goal, and it could be a low-scoring game. So as far as that's concerned, I just
who do you got?
I got Pitt in this game.
Really? I took the Ravens. I think they're going to be come off a bye. I think they're going to be a lot better than what they have been, even though the Steelers look freaking dangerous.
See, if the Ravens-Chiefs game had never happened, I would probably take the Ravens as well. But just the sample size that I got out of the Ravens against the Chiefs, they looked awful. Lamar threw for 97 yards. They were just not set for it to beat big teams.
Right. Another game, the Dolphins-Rams. Tua's debut against the Rams' stingy defense. I got the Rams there. What do you got?
I got the Rams as well. I like the spread in this one. I don't love the over/under, which is set at 45. But Tua's debut, he's going to have Aaron Donald in his face the entire day, and Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. Yeah. Good luck to you.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you're more likely than not going to do anything.
That's a tough debut to have.
Yeah, that is not a debut that I want to have on my shoulders.
No, not at all. Another game, we got the 49ers Seahawks. Interesting game for the division. I got the Seahawks there.
I also have the Seahawks, and I also hate going against my Niners in 2 consecutive games where we have them up here.
Right.
The Seahawks are favored -3. Over/under is 54. That's a big number for a 49er game. I wouldn't take that. -3. If the Seahawks win, they should win by more than 3. But Deebo Samuel's probably out. Right. There's going to be a running back by committee in San Fran. I don't love this matchup for them at all.
And then the Sunday night game, the NFC East. Don't know why there's Sunday night that needs to be flexed. Cowboys-Eagles.
I'm bored by this game. I hate that this could be Mike McCarthy's last game. I took Philly in this one. I'll take the spread on it. -7.5. Over/under is 43.5. I'll take the under there. If I'm wrong, something insane happened.
Yeah.
Something just unforeseen happened. Ben DiNucci put all his mob bosses up there and just balled out. I don't know. There was something unforeseen going on over there.
Yeah, I got Philly in that. And then our Monday night game. Somehow an NFC East team was in that as well, but the Buccaneers-Giants, I got the Buccaneers big.
Yeah, so do I. I love the spread. Over/under is tentative because the Giants they're facing good defense. Giants don't really have a lot of firepower. Over/under is 46. Who picked this game to be a Monday night game? By the way,
I don't know.
I don't know. How do you look at that game and be like, yeah, prime time?
You have 3 NFC East teams in prime time.
That is horrific.
I don't.
And the only other team's on a bye, so you really have all the playing NFC East games in primetime slots, which is like the worst thing you can do.
The Cowboys Eagles games actually. So Dalton's out, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. It's not looking good because he got messed up pretty bad.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about
Yeah,
that hit.
he
That was
died.
such a like. How do you do that? That was so.
That was one of the dirtiest plays we've seen in a while, really, since Teddy Bridgewater got knocked out.
Yeah.
And Vikings, that's the only hit that I can remember it to be that magnitude.
God,
That was
that's
horrendous.
Wow.
And there's no suspensions coming from that, too.
Hopefully there will be soon.